So your commish upgraded your league to a contract league, but you're feeling scared. It's okay that you're afraid. I'm here to hold you until the scary thoughts go away. I'll cover everything you need to know so that you have confidence heading into the season. So what is a contract, and why are contract leagues the absolute best fantasy format? If you are familiar with keeper leagues, you can think of a contract as a keeper on steroids. If you are familiar with standard dynasty leagues, then you can think of a contract as the solution to everything that makes standard dynasty leagues boring. Two things make up a contract: salary and the number of years. Where do the salaries come from, you ask? That brings us to the first thing that you're scared of: auction drafts. With snake drafts, you take comfort in the fact that you can use draft rankings and just take the highest player when it's your turn. What you don't realize is that sites that have player rankings also have auction values for players. So, if you draft based on ranks, you can still do that by sticking to the recommended price for each player. The big difference is that you'll have a shot at every player, whereas in a snake draft, your pick is largely determined by the draft order. Trust me, 0 people in the history of fantasy football have tried auction and go back to snake. The auction draft for a contract league is the same as doing an auction draft for any other league. If you are new to auction drafts, it's actually quite simple. You'll get the hang of it right away. The reason why auction drafts are required for contract leagues is because the winning bid for a player becomes that player's salary. Okay, so I just completed an auction draft, and it is notifying me that there are actions I can take on the contracts screen. I see all the players that I just drafted. The current season is this first year, which shows how much I paid in the auction draft. If I do nothing else, the player will play out his 1-year contract and be available in the auction draft next year. It shows me how much the player's salary will be each year that he is under contract, and when I'm ready to make a decision, I select the contract action and choose how long of a contract I want to give the player. Okay, it's time to talk some strategy. Due to the compounding salary increase, you don't want to give your most expensive player a long contract. Also, keep in mind that if you drop a player that is under contract, you will have to pay a percentage of the contract in dead money next season. Unlike standard dynasty, this is a risk-reward format. What you are looking for in a good contract is a player that you think is on the rise or is going to break out this season. Or maybe you just think you got a great deal on a player in the draft and you want to lock them in at a good price. What you don't want to do is give a contract to a player if you don't predict they will be more expensive in next year's draft. I got Jonathan Taylor for $80. Do I think there's a good chance he will go for over $88 in next year's draft? What about $97 in the draft 2 years from now? I don't feel so good about that, so I'm not going to sign him to a long contract. If we think back to last year, Jonathan Taylor was going for $40 in drafts. That would have been a great time to give him a max contract, and I would have had him this year for $44. I don't have to make these decisions right away. It tells me that the deadline for signing contracts is when the first NFL game kicks off this season. That said, I'm going to go ahead and sign some contracts. People in my league are nervous about Travis Etienne and the Jaguars, so I got him for $15. I'm a believer and think he has a good shot of breaking out, so I'm going to lock him up with a 4-year contract. Brandon Ayuk had a terrible season last year, but I remember how he looked 2 seasons ago, and I think there is a small chance we see it again. He is really cheap at $2, so there isn't a lot of risk if it doesn't work out. I'm going to go ahead and give him a 3-year contract. Njoku hasn't done much thus far in his NFL career, but he has a new QB this season, and I'm going to bet on the fact that the new QB will unlock his potential. Once again, he's really cheap, so not much risk if I end up being wrong. I'll sign him to a 3-year contract. I got Najee Harris for $45. This is almost a fair price, but I think there is a decent chance that he will perform well this season and be over $50 next season, potentially over $60. So I'll give him a 2-year contract. You can expect some roster turnover from year to year, which keeps the draft fun and prevents the league from getting stale. Let's take a look at how contracts affect trades. Trading in contract leagues is one of the best parts about the format. In standard formats, you mostly end up trying to trade a lesser player for a better player. This reduces the amount of trading and trade possibilities. In contract leagues, the player's contract also gets traded with the player. So I'm not just considering how good the player is, but also how good his contract is. I have additional assets that I can utilize in a trade, like cash and future rookie draft picks. Let's talk strategy real quick. If you feel like you are a contender this year, you might value immediate players over good contracts and rookie picks. If you feel like you're not a playoff team, then you probably prefer good long-term contracts and rookie picks over a player that is only good for this season. Did I say rookie draft picks? We haven't discussed rookie drafts yet, because you don't have a rookie draft in your league's first season. Starting in your league's second season, you will have a rookie draft before your main auction draft. A rookie draft is a linear draft where you take turns selecting rookies. It's not an auction. Drafted rookies are automatically assigned a 3-year contract with a salary that is based on which pick they are according to the rookie pay scale. Rookie picks are valuable because players taken in the rookie draft have several advantages. Only rookies taken in the rookie draft are eligible to be placed on your practice squad. You can see on the practice squad slot that only 25% of the player's salary counts towards your cap space. You'll notice on this player's contract another benefit of the practice squad. The salary is the same for all 3 years. If a player remains on the practice squad, their salary does not increase when the new season rolls over. However, as soon as you move a rookie into your starting lineup, they lose practice squad eligibility and will never be allowed to be placed on the practice squad again. Since only rookies taken in the rookie draft are practice squad eligible, your practice squad slots won't be used in your league's first season. The last thing that we need to cover is waivers. Picking up players in season is done through free agent auction bidding. If you've done free agent auction bidding in other league types, it works the same here. This means that after each week of games, if you want to put in a waiver claim for a player, you will submit a blind bid. On Wednesday morning each week, the team that put in the highest blind bid will receive the player. The rest of the week you can pick up players immediately. Here is the contract league twist. Your budget for picking up players through free agent blind bidding is the money you have left over from the auction draft. Now, your first thought is, wait, so if I use all of my money in the auction draft, then I can't participate in the free agent blind bidding, which is why we introduced a setting called reserved cap. By default, your total salary cap is $300, but you are unable to use $100 of that during the draft because it is reserved. This makes it so you can only spend $200 during the draft. If you only spend $180 during the draft, then you have $120 available the rest of the season to make trades and pick up players. That covers all of the basics. Your league may decide in the future to be more advanced and add extensions, franchise tags, cap rollover, or other options that are available in the settings. You can learn more about all of that on the How to Play page on LeagueTycoon.com. This page has a lot of good information, including a timeline that has all of the deadlines. Now that I've gotten rid of the boogeyman, you are safe to get out there and build your dynasty.